Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Yeah No No Yeah. In this episode, we are talking about the Alien franchise. This was my pick for the episode because Alien Romulus was recently released, and I wanted to go through the whole franchise to prepare for it. So we talk about Alien, Aliens, Alien³, Alien Resurrection, Prometheus, Alien Covenant, and Alien Romulus. So keep an eye on the timestamps if you want to avoid spoilers for any of those movie discussions, and check out our link trees to any of our social medias, as well as the link to the Patreon if you want to help support the podcast. All of the money goes towards the artwork that we do for every episode, so we'd really appreciate it. And yeah, we hope you guys enjoy, so let's get into it. We're back to our every other week schedule. It took a while. We'll try and stick with it.
We'll try. I should be able to accommodate it now because my cinema is closed for Mondays and Tuesdays this month, so that's fun.
Ooh, nice.
Not really. I get less hours.
Well, that's true.
It's weird going into my bank account and being like, oh, I have money. I bought the Furiosa 4K recently, and I was like, wow, I didn't feel bad for spending money on that.
Nor should you.
Hope it was worth it.
It's Furiosa. Of course it's worth it. So how we been?
I've been fine. Not much going on, really. Just kind of hanging out.
For those who care, for those who are wondering, me and Kath are not together, but that's fine. These things happen. I think it's honestly a good thing for both of us. That was over a month ago. I didn't even mention it in the last episode. So yeah, time has definitely passed. But I figured I should bring it up just because it's going to come up eventually. But I actually have been talking and seeing somebody from my job at the theater too. So somebody else is in my life and we're both really happy. Can't leave my boys in the dark on that. I can't leave you guys in the dark. Yeah, life is just a roller coaster, but I feel really good about life right now. I'm very happy and I'm very hopeful for the future. So
that's good.
I don't know what you'll think of this, Liam, but her name is also Julia, so what the fuck?
Oh my god.
I know, you're literally me. So now we're just waiting on Keelan to complete the ritual of...
Yeah.
The third Julia.
And then the Julias will be collected and then the portal will be opened or something. I don't know.
Yeah. If you want me to get, ever so slightly personal myself, I've been not smoking for 2 months now.
Yes, let's go.
Good job.
Let's go.
That's me and Julia, actually, so yeah.
Congrats.
Taking a pull each for both of you.
Fucking bitch.
I saw the Pixies. That was pretty good. And any time that we're doing the How We've Been Doing segment, I should just talk about the concerts I've been to, because I go to one a month.
Yeah.
That is true.
It's what else goes on?
Fucking nothing. How was the Pixies?
Pretty good. They did the Fight Club song.
I don't even know what other songs they have. I mean, that's blasphemous, but I can't even think of their other songs.
First 5 albums are absolutely perfect. Everything else,
really,
give it a miss. The opening act brought out a baby. Isn't that sweet? Baby was just on stage. He was just walking around. Just had its little headphones on. Just oh, that's a baby.
I love how I heard that and the horrific cover from a few weeks ago.
Yeah, no, I was thinking that because the Pixies was it was a last minute thing. My coworker was like, hey, you want to come to the Pixies? And I was like, oh, I'll think about it. The only thing that's turned me off going to see them, because they've been here a couple of times the past couple of years, is I love their bassist and she left the band in 10 years ago. But they were pretty good. They also did the song from Eraserhead. Yay. In Heaven.
Yeah. Oh, really? What the hell? Yeah, patrons. All right, shout out patrons. Thank you so much. Julia at moving _ pictures. Sarah at Sarah's Popcorn Chat. Amy at Ardor Film. Luna _ Pearl. Kevin at All Right So Reviews. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, guys.
Oh, I was going to jump to the poll if we want to do a little poll reading. The last one was from the Here Comes the Groom episode 54. Which of these movies do you love? It's from between the Philadelphia Story, Wedding Crashers, and Rachel Getting Married. You guys are going to hate this. We got 2 votes, and both of them were for Wedding Crashers.
Fuck off, no.
What the fuck?
I think that was people. Who is listening to this podcast?
I think that was Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson that voted. Those two.
To those 2 specific people, watch Rachel Getting Married, for fuck's sake.
No, to those 2 specific people, there is a comment feature on Spotify now. Show yourself.
That's true.
Defend yourself.
I was stalking an old episode yesterday, and I came across a comment, like one of you guys probably saw it. Oh yeah, I came here for the Jacob Tremblay discussion because we fucking...
Yeah! That was the weirdest thing, because we did one little segment on Jacob Tremblay, and I got like 2 fan accounts followed our podcast of Jacob Tremblay fan accounts. I gotta find this comment because it was hilarious, actually. All I did was tag Jacob Tremblay in the post, and then all of a sudden just hell broke loose. So we got a comment from Jacob_BK_Tremblay, and it's a fan account. He said, I watched your podcast on YouTube only for the mini topic about Jacob Tremblay. I'm glad at least one of you congratulated him. Some of you have no idea how good of an actor he is.
Jesus Christ. I love people like this. It's just so funny. Like the Mika fan base that attacked me, the Girl in Red fan base. You remember that shit?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Remember when the Blade fan base attacked me? I'm still not over that. I've gone slightly back in my Blade opinions, but Girl in Red deserves it. I listened to her last album, it was fucking horrible.
Thank you. So what we've been watching?
Yeah, what have we been watching or anything?
I watched Trap.
Oh, there you go. We were waiting for that.
I fucking love Trap, boys. I fucking loved it so much. Like, you don't understand. I'm kind of like embarrassed by how much I love it, because I've been thinking about it constantly since I watched it, and like the circumstances I watched it under, I was like really fucking tired, and the next day was going to be like the busiest day of the year for us. But I'd watched another movie which we're going to talk about later, and I was fucking so tired, and I was like, lads, do I want to watch Trap tonight? By God, it just fucking reinvigorated me. It breathed new life into me. I wasn't tired anymore. I could barely fucking sleep that night because it just made me, it fucking hyped me up. The first half alone, holy shit, I was just like fucking laughing my ass off. I was like so invested in what was going on. It was so intense. It was just so perfect and so fucking satisfying. And Josh Hartnett's performance he deserves an Oscar. I'm saying it. He deserves a fucking Oscar. Because to deliver M. Night Shyamalan's dialogue like that, still be like creepy and have that kind of side of like kind of almost cuteness to him, where like he clearly loves his daughter, but he's also a fucking deranged serial killer. So he did both aspects of the fucking characters so fucking well. And like the fucking dialogue scenes like between him and like, you know, the other mom at the concert, where it's just like a straight up fucking shot like a fucking Oblivion NPC or something. It was perfect. It was fucking perfect. And I know some people have a problem with the second half. I was still as invested. I wasn't fucking expecting to be as invested as I was. I think Liam said he had problems with the ending. No problems with it. Perfect fucking film. I fucking love Trap.
It was just like the final shot that bothered me, really.
I love the final shot. I
like the final shot too. I liked it too. Yeah.
It reminded me of like the final shot of A Cure for Wellness.
I barely even remember that.
It's just Dane DeHaan with a goofy fucking smile riding a bike.
It fucking works. I loved it. I was cheering. I was laughing. It is literally a perfect blend of everything I love about M. Night. It's like a genuinely interesting concept, and it's done so well, but the dialogue is so unnatural, but it's like delivered in such like a perfect way. This confidence and belief in the material hasn't been like seen since like fucking maybe Unbreakable or Signs, you know? So it's just like, it's like the past like fucking 15 years or so, he's just been like almost self-conscious about what he's making, and then Trap, he's just like, lads, I'm going all in here. Unironic 10 out of 10. Not even so bad it's good. I genuinely fucking love Trap so much.
That's probably the most unexpected thing I've heard Keelan say, like, about... I did not expect that.
I didn't expect it either.
Kind of in the same boat as Liam. Like, I don't think it's perfect. I had a lot of fun with it. The first half, I wanted the first half to be the entire movie, if I'm being honest. Like, it does kind of get a little spotty when they leave the concert for me, but, and I'll be honest, I really don't know how I feel about his daughter as an actress.
For what she's playing, I think she's just fine.
I thought she was pretty decent.
That dialogue, there is a lot of, it is just very cheesy Shyamalan dialogue, but I love it when Josh Hartnett delivers it, because he does deliver it so well.
Josh Hartnett, Shyamalan's daughter, and Alison Pill, they were the highlights for me.
Yeah.
Especially Alison Pill in the later half. She was fucking great.
Yeah, she was really great in that last scene. It is flawed, and I can see people's flaws with it. The one thing I can't get behind is like people just like picking out plot holes. I hate when people bring out like plot holes and things. It's just like, oh yeah, this wouldn't happen, or this
just
wouldn't
have
happen.
Fun.
It's
like, dude,
just go along with the fucking ride. It's not meant to be like realistic. It's like, for fuck's sake, I doubt like this situation would happen in real life. I mean, I think it is inspired by like a real life event. They're not going to hijack a concert just to catch one serial killer. Like, that's never going to happen in real life. So you just kind of have to take it as it is and just go with it, you know?
It's a Shyamalan film.
Exactly. He is known for plot holes. Just accept it, like, and have a good time. Like, it's fine.
I do love the second half in terms of what it brings to the character of the Butcher. It's a guy trying to balance his work life and his home life. Like, he was just kind of putting himself on the screen almost.
But no, I thought it was fun too. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 personally.
I played a game, guys.
What the fuck?
It's a very short game, but it's called Inside.
Oh.
You heard of this?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's a really good game.
Yeah, it's from the people that made Limbo as well. I think that's a bit more popular maybe.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a very short game where you kind of do mini puzzles and stuff to get through this world, and it's all really just kind of dark and creepy, and it's a vibe. It's a lot of fun, and the sound design in it is really nice and stuff, and it gets to some points later on where you're just like, what the fuck even is this game? Jesus. It's really cool, a lot of the design in it. I think that's the main thing I can highlight, really. It's just such a good looking game, and it feels so good to play. It's not a overall satisfying story or anything, I would say. It's kind of just its own little short thing. There's no dialogue whatsoever. You're literally just kind of, wandering through this world and seeing where it leads you. But yeah, then it just kind of, peters out and ends, and you're just like, okay, that was a game. But yeah, it's a fun one. It's just probably not something I'd ever play again, but yeah, recommend checking out if it sounds like something you'd enjoy. So 8 out of 10. Good game.
Nice.
It's a cool little allegorical experience, and the ending is great.
It's weird, but it's nice.
I'll have to check it out. I need more little games to play, nothing too big to get into. I just don't
Games
have
are
time.
too fucking long now.
Play
They
Inside.
are. We mentioned Shyamalan. I also watched a Shyamalan movie, but not the good Shyamalan. I watched his daughter's movie, The Watchers.
Ooh.
And dude, cue the Dwayne The Rock Johnson meme. It was the biggest piece of dog shit I've seen in a while. I'm not even kidding. It was, I don't know if I'm being too harsh on this. Everyone else seems to think it's okay. There was nothing good about it for me. It was so boring. I watched it when I was pretty tired, granted, so I know that did not help at all. It's so boring. It's so basic. It's so cliche. It's all the bad stuff about Shyamalan and none of the good stuff. If he was, because you could tell, he had his influence in it too. He's a producer. He was probably there helping her. And I watched it a couple days ago. I already forgot all of it. It's a good looking movie, but I would not recommend it. I was debating on even bringing it up because it's literally there's just, I don't know what to say about it, but it's just so fucking disappointing because I was really wanting to see it. I gave it a half star because I'm there's nothing good about this. So and I know that's probably being more harsh than it is a good looking movie. There's good stuff about it, but man, it is just so boring and I felt like I wasted my time. So she's just trying so hard to follow in her dad's footsteps. This feels like it could have been a Shyamalan movie, but it lacks all the memorability or fun of one. And so it just takes itself too seriously. Be your own director. You don't have to be just like your dad. It kind of gives off Village vibes too, because monsters in the forest and you don't see them, and it's this has been done before.
I watched Blackhat. The Michael Mann film Blackhat. I just want to watch more Michael Mann films, so I was just you know what, let's throw on this one, because Blackhat has a weird reputation where when it came out, I'd heard nothing but horrible things about it. Everyone was saying oh, it's so boring, huge fucking flop, a gigantic fucking flop. Yeah, so it has Chris Hemsworth in it, and he plays a hacker, and he goes to prison. And then he's brought out of prison to take down other hackers who've used his code to trigger a black hat in this the Chinese facility where the facility just straight up blows up. He's brought in to solve the case, and you know what? I liked it. It's so fucking silly, and I respect how silly it is because it tries to be a serious hacker thing, but then it'll also throw in a Michael Mann action sequence out of nowhere. And I just thought that was fucking hilarious. And also, hackers do not look like fucking Chris Hemsworth. Just seeing him hunched over a fucking computer, just fucking typing away is just with his little fucking glasses. He has tiny glasses in it. It's hilarious. It's really fun. Yeah, it's just a solid little thriller, I thought. And I kind of get its reputation, but also there's a new director's cut that came out a while ago, which I'm also interested in seeing, because a huge issue with the film is it kind of does feel disjointed and it doesn't make any fucking sense. But I don't think that's to a major detriment of the film. I think it's fun on its own, even though it doesn't make any fucking sense at all. Blackhat, check it out. It's pretty good. I liked it. I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
Well, I watched a little show, well, one season of it, but the new season's coming out in January, I think. I watched Severance. Very fucking good show. Like, wow. I don't know, everything was just hitting the right spot with the writing and the characters and all of it. Especially Adam Scott. He is fucking amazing in this. Need to see that man in more. He's just not in enough. Patricia Arquette is hilarious in this though. So weird and like weirdly threatening, and it's just this big barrage of like chaos, and it's like so funny to watch. And John Turturro's amazing in it.
John Turturro's in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
he's
is.
so good in it. And Christopher
What
Walken.
the fuck?
Christopher Walken's
What the
fantastic.
fuck?
Christopher Walken's it. You gotta watch this. I thought
You
you
have
watched
to
it,
watch
Keelan. You need to
Severance.
see
It's-
this, yeah.
I've been meaning to. I only knew that Adam Scott was in it.
Britt Lauer as well, she's fucking amazing. But probably one of the best performances in the whole show though is Tremel Tillman. I don't think I've seen him in that much else. Jesus, he's like scary in this show, like the entire fucking runtime. Like, every time he comes around the fucking corner, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, he was good.
I don't want to get too into it because like there's, the concept alone I think is something that should be like revealed to you. It's amazing, it's so well done, like it kept me hooked from beginning to end, and I cannot wait for season 2. So yeah, this season 10 out of 10 easily. Loved it.
Nice. Yeah, go in blind if you can.
Yeah,
I know not a single thing about it.
that's great.
Good. I listened a few times to this album. It's the latest album from one of my favorite current rappers, JPEGMAFIA. It's I Laid Down My Life For You. Continues to prove why he is, in my opinion, like, yeah, one of the most exciting or experimental and just like refreshing artists, rappers, like right now for me personally. Yeah, it's just really, it's like his usual style though. I mean, it's aggressive, it's experimental, it's crazy, it's a lot more like guitar and drums than a lot of his other albums, which I thought was kind of cool. It's really damn catchy. Like, yeah, the Death Grips inspiration will always be there though. I feel like he still comes into his own as his own artist. It's just really refreshing, like the rate that he's putting out all these albums, but also like the quality of them. I've loved like all of his albums that he's put out for the most part, and really great album. I've been listening to it a lot in like the gym. Very in your face, but then there's also songs that kind of take it down a notch, and he gets into his like singy stuff, which I don't love. I don't love when he tries to sing. My favorite songs: Sin Medio, Don't Rely on Other Men, Vulgar Display of Power, Ex-Military. Those are the best tracks. Not my favorite from him, so I'll give it like an 8 out of 10. Yeah, check it out if you like experimental hip hop, I guess.
The new album from fucking Magdalena Bay, Imaginal Disc. I never heard them before, but I was just kind of looking for new albums to listen to at work. Oh my fucking god, I fucking loved it. It's like a pure fucking album of the year contender for me right now.
Oh.
It's so just beautiful and blissful, and the fucking production is just insane. It's very poppy, catchy as fuck, and I can't stop listening to the song Death and Romance from it. It's just amazing. And the singing on it is like these fucking like one girl, one boy fucking bands, they're fucking killing it, like fucking Jockstrap and all that. They've got some shit going on, and I'm fucking down with it. And Magdalena Bay is no different. I listened to I thought it was their first album, but their second album as well, and I thought that was really fucking great too. Just have this really unique ethereal kind of pop style, and the songwriting is just so fucking good. I've only listened to it once still, but I do really want to listen to it again. It's like an hour long. Fucking check it out, because I think it's really special, and it's probably going to end up in like my top 10 of the year maybe. Give it a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it, really loved it.
Well, I mean, it's a rewatch that's taken place over the course of like the last year and a half maybe. It's called Peep Show.
Oh.
I rewatched all of Peep Show. I showed all of it to Julia.
Damn.
We finally finished all of it, and God, that show is just fucking perfect, and it's ridiculous. Still the best comedy show of all time. I'm saying it. From beginning to end, there is like barely even a point where it dips off, even slightly. It's just, even like the worst episode of the show is like still Peep Show, and it's still like so good. The way that it all wraps up is perfect too. Obviously 10 out of 10. That's my rewatch.
And it's only really season 9 it kind of dips in, but it's not even that major. It's still great. I think there is like a bit of a quality change from like the first, like say 7 seasons or so.
Another album I listened to, which I had kind of heard songs here and there from, but I never really sat down and listened through all of it. But once I did, then I just have had it on repeat. I think becoming one of my favorite albums just in general right now. And that is The Queen Is Dead by the Smiths.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to listening to all of their stuff, but I literally just cannot stop replaying this one album. Like, it is just that good. There's no tracks I don't like. No matter what mood I'm in, I'm able to listen to it if I'm feeling down, if I'm feeling up, if I'm feeling fucking left, whatever, right? Like, I don't know. I just always want to be listening to this fucking album. It's just that good. The title track, the opening track, Queen is Dead, is probably my favorite song.
Big Mouth Strikes Again.
Yeah, Big Mouth Strikes Again, Cemetery Gates, Frankly, Mr. Shankly. I mean, There's a Light That Never Goes Out. I would say that's my favorite, but I know it's a basic answer.
Okay, and it's a great song.
Yeah, it's so obvious, 10 out of 10. It's definitely one of my favorite albums right now.
It's probably top 20 for me.
A JPEG album and a Smiths album, because JPEGMAFIA has
Cannot
a song.
wait till Morrissey fucking
Yeah,
dies.
he has a song called I Cannot Wait Until Morrissey Dies.
Do we have mini songs?
This one kind of relates. That's the only reason I put it down. Sigourney Weaver is she's gonna make her Star Wars debut in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, I guess.
Oh my
What?
god.
So, which I did not know that was even gonna be a movie, but it's gonna release in 2026.
They're not slowing down with the Star Wars, even though they fucking need to.
They need to slow
Ah,
down
dude,
with
it's-
everything, Disney.
They just need to not make Star Wars ever again for like 15 or 20 years and then come back with a new movie and
Exactly.
it's good. You can keep fucking Andor going till that ends, but like fucking anything else, just stop. Stop.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake, stop. Star Wars isn't special anymore.
It's not.
No, it's not. It's not. Hasn't been for decades, basically.
Well, I'd say a decade.
A decade at least.
I want to see a chest burster come out of fucking Grogu.
Honestly,
That'd be
same.
cool.
Just take some risks. Ian McKellan was approached to play Gandalf again
yeah.
for
I
these
saw
new
that.
Lord of the Rings movies. That was announced like today.
Yeah.
Even he was like, I've just been, what'd he say? I've just been told there are going to be more films and Gandalf will be involved and they hope that I'll be playing with them. And then he's like, when? I don't know what the script is. It's not written yet, so they better be quick. So even he's like, I'm getting too old.
Yeah.
I might die before it's done.
I think that animated one could be interesting. I
Is that
didn't
the
see
War
tra-
of Rahim or whatever?
Yeah, that could be
Yeah.
cool, but like I don't know. Stop trying to franchise things. Leave Lord of the Rings alone.
Yeah, seriously. No, we don't need these damn franchises.
So do we want to just do main topic then?
I was about to say, yeah, that's a good segue. Now that we're bitching about franchises, let's talk about a franchise.
Yeah.
But
love
a good
franchises.
franchise. I think a good franchise though, mostly. Or my main
Mostly.
topic, as you can see from my shirt that I bought just for this episode, because I've been wanting an Alien shirt anyway. The first Alien movie in like 7 years came out. Figured why not talk about all of them. It's been a while since we've done a franchise episode. I literally think the only other one was like the Spider-Man movies, if you could count that, right?
But never like a full franchise, I guess.
Starting with the original, and I guess I will give, a little description for each. Yeah, the original movie came out in 1979, Ridley Scott. During its return to Earth, commercial spaceship Nostromo intercepts a distress signal from a distant planet when a 3-member team of the crew discovers a chamber containing thousands of eggs on the planet. A creature inside one of the eggs attacks an explorer. The entire crew is unaware of the impending nightmare set to descend upon them when the alien parasite planted its side as unfortunate host is birthed. Okay. We didn't need that long of a description.
You just
We
spoiled
didn't
the
need
first
that.
half
Like,
of the movie.
just- it did. What the fuck? Letterbox.
You know what? It is pretty good.
I'd agree there. I wouldn't say it's one of the best movies ever made, but I think I would actually. I think I would say it's one of the best movies ever made. It's one of the finest examples of sci-fi horror there is, or just horror in general. It just has such a great fucking sense of horror. At its core, it literally just is like a slasher movie in space.
Yeah.
But there's so much more to it with like the fucking sound design, the fucking set design. It's all just so pitch perfect. If this came out today, it would flop because it is very fucking slow.
Yeah.
The fucking entire first half is just people just pushing buttons and shit. But I love that shit. Like, those buttons look so fucking fun to press.
I love the whole design of the ship. It's really nice.
Me too.
Yeah, of course. It's an iconic ship, and you
Yeah.
know, it's influenced so many other science fiction movies, you know. Well, science fiction ships, I suppose. Obviously, I think the hook of this movie is both the mystery and the characters. I think all the characters that are focused on are really fucking strong. For like what's basically a slasher movie, it's really impressive. You get like a sense of how everyone is like off the bat, I think. We'll probably get more into spoilers, but I just like how professional everyone is. I like movies about professionals, you know?
Yeah.
And Alien is a good one.
It is, yeah, that's something that not the rest of the Alien movies really do a great job. Because every Alien movie has a crew. Like, every Alien movie has a crew that you follow. Some are more annoying than others, but this is probably, like, my favorite crew out of all of them, out of all the movies. It just feels like such improv dialogue when they're all just sitting around, like, eating and shit. I mean, you could tell there was so much just looseness with what they were allowed to. Little thing, I mean, when we get into spoilers, like, another decision that Ridley Scott made, I guess, which I thought was really cool. Yeah, the look of the movie, the space, I like how dirty and, like, grungy things look too, though. It's not like all perfect sci-fi. It's not like 2001 where everything just looks so perfect and polished. Yeah, I think that was what honestly prevented me from really seeing it as, like, the perfect movie I think it is that the pacing is really hard to sell people on when they think they're getting into an action or not an action movie, but like a horror alien movie. It's not really what you would expect.
I was thinking about this yesterday because my coworker said that she saw Romulus recently and she really liked it, but she'd never seen, like, any other Alien movie. I was kind of thinking, like, yeah, like, if Romulus is your first Alien movie, like, I think you'd probably have a hard time, like, with the original. But, like, the original is so slow and it takes its time to, like, build up its atmosphere. And that's what I love about it the most. Like, the atmosphere is unbeatable. At this point, it kind of feels like retro-futuristic, where, you know, all the computers aren't, like, you know, we're all fucking on computers now. This is what computers are to us. But, like, the computers on the Nostromo, what they would think of computers back then, they wouldn't have, like, thought of them as anything different. Like, they were just tools. They were just tools, and I like that. I like that the computers in the Nostromo were literally just tools to, like, speak to Mother or speak to, like, whoever else. And just like carry out and just, like, look at protocols and whatever. But I do appreciate that about it, and I do love the look of the ship. But then after, you know, the scene in the middle, it just becomes full of fucking dread and suspense, and there's nothing else quite like it. Like, it still gives me fucking chills even to this day.
I feel like that's what happens when a movie just really just, like, takes its time and, like, makes you wait and wait and wait for something to happen. So when something finally does happen, then it is like, it just amplifies that shock.
Absolutely. All of those, like, long shots just, like, showing off the interior of the Nostromo, brilliantly done. Like, the camera work is excellent. In the special edition, the only change they made was cutting those shots down to make the pace faster, and I was like, that's just, like, goes against, like, what I love about the movie, you know? Just keep Ridley Scott away from this fucking franchise.
Isn't that the thing? Like, so yeah, because I watched the theatrical cut, and, like, all these movies have, like, 2 cuts to them, right?
Yes.
You told us to watch the assembly cut of Alien⁵, so I did. But the rest of them, I just honestly looked up. I was like, what should I, like, what's better, the theatrical or the special edition? And everyone was saying watch the theatrical of Alien. You would think a director's cut would be even more, like, long and indulgent, but I guess not.
The special edition of Alien is shorter.
Yeah, and that's just weird. So that's why I didn't want it to be. I wanted the full thing.
Should we get into spoilers?
Spoilers for Alien!
One moment in this movie that I just love and encapsulates, like, what I really love about this fucking movie. What the fuck is John Hurt's character's name again? Kane. After Kane gets attacked on the planet, bring him back into spaceship, and then Ripley's on the intercom, and she's like, oh no, you can't bring him in. Like, whatever you do, don't fucking bring him in. We're following the quarantine protocols, and everyone's freaking out. And then Ash lets them in, obviously, but, like, fucking, I love that. Like, when I was talking about the professionalism, like, that's what I mean. Like, she was just following protocol. She didn't let her empathy get in the way of what their orders were. And I love shit like that. I love shit like that, where they kind of have to go against their human nature to survive, basically. And obviously she ended up being right, because that chest burster scene, guys, it's still fucking effective. It's so iconic in horror, but I don't think it ever really gets the props that it really deserves for just how fucking violent it is. Just how violent and straight up disturbing it is. Yeah. Like, when he keels over that table and, like, the fucking xenomorph is trying to get out of his skin, it's perfect and still so chilling just to watch him just writhe around as the fucking chest burster gets fucking just forces its way out of its chest.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the most iconic, like, ideas and scenes in horror. It just is. Like, it's become so synonymous with horror. While we're on that scene, like, going back to, like, the looseness, what Ridley Scott allowed the actors to do, because like I said, I really feel like they just improv'd half the time with this scene, I guess. And I don't know, I still, like, things like this, I'm like, okay, maybe that was actually the case, but he didn't even tell the whole cast or the crew what was going to happen, and so their reactions were genuine when that alien burst out.
They actually put a xenomorph in John Hurt. He didn't know.
That's true. They were committed. It's like going back to, like, if your coworker or whoever you were talking about, like, watched this movie after like Alien Romulus. And it's the kind of shit that like when they re-release Exorcist in theaters these days and modern audiences watch it, I really feel like everyone would find that moment funny instead of creepy or shocking. Everyone would be laughing, guarantee.
Probably would be the case.
At the time, that was probably horrifying for audiences, but now it's like, it shouldn't be compared, I guess. I keep comparing, you know, modern audiences to this, but it just, I don't know. I wish movies stayed like this. I really do.
I also really like how highly sexual the whole franchise is with its iconography. Like, even with, like, the fucking face hugger, like, it's literally just like a vagina. The implications of the fucking face hugger with, like, planting a fucking baby inside you, it's kind of like fucking a pregnancy, like, that's brought upon by rape. Deeply disturbing and gross. And also, the fucking alien itself, its head is shaped like a dick. And it's carried out throughout the franchise. It's not just the alien, it's not just the face hugger. There's so much sexual shit in the franchise.
There is.
I think that's why it's so creepy sometimes. It's like the violation.
The tail around the throat, choking, the choking of the neck, the big tentacle going down the fucking throat.
And yeah, big up fucking H.R. Geiger.
Oh my god,
for fucking played him. And yeah, the space jockey is such a fucking striking visual as well. We didn't even talk about like that exploration scene where they find the eggs for the first time. That whole just vast room, it's so imposing. And like I was saying about the characters, Ripley, one of the greatest fucking protagonists of all time in my opinion, throughout like all 4 films. I fucking love Ripley. This feels weird to say. She's earned her right to be like a fucking cinema icon or whatever. She's like terrific in this. Like she's absolutely fucking fantastic. And that whole fucking chase scene at the end, it's fucking brilliant. I love the lack of music, you know, when she's, you know, set the ship to self-destruct and then she's trying to find Jonesy. Jonesy as well, fucking amazing. Love Jonesy. He's just like a fucking little psychopath. He's just watching people getting fucking ripped apart and he's just like, yeah.
I love the choice to cut to just the cat's reaction when that first, I think it's like one of the first deaths that really happened besides the chest burst.
How the alien kills, I love it so much, just with the like the extended mouth.
The mouth, yeah. Yet again, another sexual thing, the mouth inside the mouth, and it's like all slimy and it shoots out. It's very weird.
It's like the perfect way to do it in this movie where they're like so restricted with showing the alien.
I also love the decision to keep the kills so brief.
Yeah.
Hard hit. You see like a flash of gore and then it's cut to the next scene. I think it's fucking genius. And I love that they keep it consistent in all the movies. Any kill like that in any other movie, it's done the exact same way, and I really appreciate that.
Ripley really is like one of the best protagonists of horror, but like also I love the idea or the thought of like, for most of the movie, it's not even really clear who the protagonist is.
Yeah,
I love that too. I mean, we haven't really talked about Ian Holm either, and that reveal too. Yeah, one of the most probably unexpected scenes, I don't know, for people, I'm guessing.
I think it was like one of the few things that wasn't spoiled for me the first time I watched it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was for me either.
Yeah, that would have, I don't think it was for me actually, yeah. So that was really good.
And it's a very effective scene, and like the scene where they just put the head on the table and it's just talking, it's so fucking creepy.
The blood of androids is just like milk. It's just this like fucking white goo.
There's just a hopelessness in that scene, and obviously it's kind of punctuated by the I can't lie about your chances, but you have my sympathies.
Yeah.
Fucking cold as hell line. What a fucking line of dialogue.
It's so unnatural, like the way he tries killing Ripley by like taking that like magazine and just like shoving it in her mouth. Introducing androids into this franchise opens a whole fucking can of worms for everything later to come to.
For better or for worse.
So I'm guessing that's 10 out of 10s all around.
10 out of 10s all the fuck around.
Absolute classic.
It's probably the only movie that we're all going to agree completely on. Yeah, so moving on to Aliens, one of the most iconic and well-regarded sequels of all time, directed by James Cameron. Ripley, the sole survivor of the Nostromo's deadly encounter with the monstrous alien, returns to Earth after drifting through space in hypersleep for 57 years. Although her story is initially met with skepticism, she agrees to accompany a team of Marines back to LV-426.
They're back, and there's more of them.
I mean, the more I think about the title, I'm like, really? Just aliens?
Have I spoken about James Cameron's pitch for it? When he was pitching the movie, he like went to the Fox execs, and all he did was he just wrote Alien on the board, put an S, and then made it a $sign. And that got the movie made.
Dude.
Oh my god.
And it's very different from the first. I mean, it's just like a total shift. Like the first movie is a horror, sci-fi, slow burn, and then the second, honestly, it feels like a war movie half the time.
Yeah,
it really
the
does.
direction it goes in, and it really feels like leading from the last film. Like it makes sense. Because it's not just going to rehash the same thing. Like, you know, she's not going to go on another ship with a new crew and do the same thing over again. So I like that it's different.
I like that too.
And a different director adds a lot.
Like, that's kind of what I appreciate about Alien as a franchise as a whole, especially the first four. They all go in such different directions with what they're trying to do, and Aliens is probably the most drastic departure from what the franchise is. Shockingly fucking works. It works so fucking well. Like, it works both as an action movie, and I think there are genuinely, like, really great scenes of horror as well, so he didn't, like, leave out any horror elements from it. Obviously, Ripley's character is the strongest in this one, to, like, no one's surprise.
Yeah.
Because, like, it is focused on her, because she's the final girl from the first movie, so, like, you know, she's the forefront of this movie, and I love how it opens, reintroducing us to this character. Where she is at this point is, like, fucking Alien happened, like, what, a day ago? But it's been, like, what, how long?
57 years.
And, like, the weight that has on her because, like, she had a kid, the turmoil she goes through in that first act, it's so well done and so well delivered by Sigourney Weaver. She was fucking nominated for an Oscar for this.
Yeah. Really?
I could not believe it.
With all of the movies that she is in my opinion, she is, like, the consistent thing carrying it. Not carrying all of it, but carrying most of it. I just love seeing the way she changes and comes into her own just as the movies go on. If I'm going to talk about things I don't like, because, I mean, to me, it's just... I actually used to prefer this to Alien slightly, but that was back when I was, like, not sure about the first Alien's pacing, and I kind of like the action in this. Then my taste just kind of changed, and I don't know, now I kind of see it the opposite. I'm like, well, I kind of just want slow burn horror. I don't need all this, like, crazy action. The whole Marine team, I find a lot of characters in this kind of annoying, like that Burke, Paul Reiser, who plays Burke.
What?
I fucking can't stand that guy.
I love Burke.
I hate his character. He's, like, awful, but I mean, Paul Reiser's so good at playing him.
No, he is so good, but he's just that smug, arrogant fucker that, like, I know he plays it so well that I know it's meant to be like that. But man, every time he's talking, I just want to fucking strangle him. Like, he's just so cocky.
I love Bill Paxton in it.
I love Bill Paxton.
And Michael Biehn.
Michael Biehn.
Bill Paxton, his character just losing his shit was hilarious.
Like, every emotion he has is just so amplified.
The knife trick on his hand with the android and his fucking face. Which the android, by the way, is also, like, one of the three characters I love in this movie too. I really do like that guy. I should have watched theatrical. I know that is part of the reason why it didn't work for me as well this time too. It's just too long, and there's scenes that do not matter, and I do not care about them. And this isn't really spoiling it, so I can say, I mean, I don't think it's a big spoiler at all, but, like, some stuff about Newt, like the stuff with her family and stuff. Yeah, like, I didn't need that. I just don't need that. And speaking of Newt, I'm annoyed at that kid. I really am. Her constant screaming. Look, I know I'm an old man bitching about this, but, like, gosh, I think I was just really irritable the night I watched it. I was just really easily irritated. So, like, all the little stuff was, like, annoying me.
I don't find, like, myself hating Newt or anything.
She's this movie's fucking Jonesy.
I guess, yeah.
She's just Jonesy.
Just louder.
There's even more of a reason for her to be there. It's just, like, not even just as something to protect, but it kind of hits home what the theme of the movie is, and that's motherhood.
Yeah.
Spoilers for Aliens.
But also the mother xenomorph. So, like, it's like two versions, you know, two opposing sides of motherhood trying to protect their children, basically.
I think it's dealt with very well, especially for, like, an action horror movie. It didn't need to delve into these themes, but it's James Cameron, so there's always kind of going to be, like, a bigger concept at play, and I'm glad that he put that in there, because it does give this movie, like, a lot more meat. The Alien Queen, amazing. I love the Alien Queen so fucking much. Cool. Its design is so grotesque, and I love how big it is. And also, it takes the elevator. It's so smart. It's a smart little alien.
It's adorable.
But I do like Newt a lot, and I do think she adds a lot to Ripley's character throughout this movie. And yeah, I even like Burke. I like Burke a lot. Just for Paul Reiser's performance, because he does do a good job of being, like, a fucking slimy, manipulative fucking corporate guy. There's just so many, like, standout scenes in this to me. I really love when they find, like, the face huggers in the jar, and there's that, like, jump scare of the face hugger hitting the jar. That actually got me. Like, I always remember it, but it fucking got me, like, last time I watched it, and I wasn't expecting it. The Queen's Nest, by God, what a fucking piece of set design right there.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Just all the people in walls, and then that fucking one person.
They're coming out of the goddamn walls. I love that quote. Bill Paxton freaking out.
Brilliant. And I just love how, like, fucking macho this movie is, with the added element of, like, the whole motherhood aspect, but I like how it is just, like, a Marine fucking kind of oorah movie. Like, there's enough interesting there to keep it from being just, like, another fucking 80s action movie.
Like, an example of a scene I wish there was, like, more of, or that I like. I love the freaking scene of when they're in that room and they're waiting for the aliens to burst through the door, and they're watching on the radar all these dots. Like, they're in the room. It's like, that's not possible. and then they look up in the fucking vents and they're all just crawling towards them. It's so fucking, like, it's so good. You know, so I love those little moments of actual horror and suspense.
A thing I do wish there was more of from the sequels, and it kind of starts here, is the acid blood is a bit less of a threat. It's a bit less focused on in the sequels, and I really like how they dealt with it in the first one. Like, it is kind of a threat here, but it's never really expanded on that much, and I do like that aspect of the Alien where its blood is acid, and killing it could fucking kill you too.
That's the thing, is that, like, one of the best scenes in the first movie is just when that little cut from the face hugger, just they're following the acid going down the whole ship. Like, that is just such a cool scene. But in this, I mean, shit, they're gunning down fucking armies of them around them. They should all be burning alive right now. But the last thing I'm gonna do is try and pick out plot holes in an Aliens movie. It's just not worth it.
Love the ending so much. I mean, obviously it ties up in a nice little bow, but like how the alien queen is defeated, it's brilliant. And like fucking Bishop's just lying after it's dead is just like, oh, not bad for a human. I love shit like that.
Yeah, and that has the most iconic quote of the whole franchise too. Get away from her, you bitch. It's really good. Yeah, let's hope that doesn't come back.
It's a 10, isn't it?
It is I think we can all agree it's a 10.
I don't think we can all agree, but
I hate to break up the party. I'm gonna look. Everyone's gonna get jumped on for one of these movies, and so this is my turn to get jumped on. It's an 8. It's an 8 out of 10. I need to rewatch the theatrical cut in a better mood when I'm in the mood for an action movie, because it was just kind of a perfect storm of things that were annoying me about the movie at the time. Moving on to Alien⁵, Alien³.
David Fincher's first fucking movie.
It's his directorial debut, 1992. After escaping with Newt and Hicks from the alien planet, Ripley crash lands on Fiorina 161, a prison planet host to a correctional facility. Unfortunately, although Newt and Hicks do not survive the crash, I guess they're just giving that shit away in the description.
It happens very early.
A more unwelcome visitor does. The prison does not allow weapons of any kind, and with the aid of being a long time away, the prisoners must simply survive in any way they can. Very divisive movie.
I've seen this a couple of times. I only watched the assembly cut for the first time recently. I've always kind of hated this movie. I've always thought it was a boring piece of shit. Assembly cut's not that bad. Quite liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
It's still a boring piece of shit.
I can see that. No, I can see that. But like, no, but I can see it being a boring piece of shit.
No,
because,
me
like,
too.
The original is a boring piece of shit.
No, but like I think you guys just need to face the fact. It's just a boring piece of shit, guys. It's just not good.
I disagree. I think there's interesting elements to it.
I think you need
like,
help.
Genuinely, I think you need to shut the fuck up while the adults are speaking.
I'm older than both of you.
That's true. Which must suck, because like you're the biggest David Fincher fan of all of us.
But you know, he's disowned it, and I completely get why.
One of the reasons I came to like this movie a lot more was because I kind of like when movies completely fuck over the fans in a way that they're not expecting. Deadpool and Wolverine I was defending last episode, and that is nothing but fan service, basically. It was like my last release of like, okay, I'm a fan, give me what I want. And now it's like, I kind of like the idea of like, that's kind of just cheap and lazy, like just to redo. I kind of like how they made some really ballsy decisions in this, and some of them work, some of them don't.
This is a very ballsy movie.
Fucking, they completely changed Ripley's look. They completely changed the setting. It's not on like a ship or it's on a fucking in a prison with a bunch of these bald motherfuckers that are like rapists and pedophiles.
I love the atmosphere of it. I love how fucking depressing it is. It's so atmospheric. What are you talking about?
There's nothing there. It's so plain and dull.
I don't think this is a perfect movie, by the way, but I think it's anything but plain, and I think it does try to explore new facets of this universe.
I appreciate where it's going. I appreciate things about the story and like the detraction from everything that came before, like, but it's handled so poorly.
I think elements are handled poorly, but I love how fucking like yellow and orange and green it looks. Like it's just like a completely fucking disgusting color palette. Like you were saying, like David Fincher has disowned this movie, and he has, and I'm kind of sad that he does, because this, like, even if he didn't go on to make stuff like fucking Zodiac and Gone Girl and Social Network, this is still like a very solid outing for like a first director. To be fair, I think he disowned this because he didn't have final cut, and there's like a lot of studio interference with this movie, hence why he didn't come back to do a director's cut for this movie. He couldn't stomach like coming back to this movie after being fucked over so much. I guess it's like the same with David Lynch and Dune. Like at its core, like a very Fincher movie. Like in how it's shot and all that. I think it is.
Oh,
it
yeah,
does have a lot of similarities.
There are some very
to, like,
Finchery shots, definitely, but it's not
Yeah.
enough for me to enjoy the movie.
I think my enjoyment of the movie is how fucking dour and depressing it is. Like,
Me too.
it happens in the first hour, a half an hour. Would this be a spoiler?
Are you talking about the autopsy?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's like 20 minutes in.
One of my favorite scenes in the franchise. Honestly, I fucking love that scene. Just the pure paranoia and dread of it. Like, Ripley isn't even concerned for Newt. She's more concerned that, like, oh, this fucking thing's gonna come back to haunt me again.
Oh.
I just love that uncertainty.
It's
like, the slow cutting open of Newt's chest. It's so upsetting. Like, just seeing a child get, like, fucking cut open. And I just appreciate how hard it goes in those moments. And
Me too.
I do appreciate that it does have an attempt to create some emotional core. And
Me too.
I think that's why the first act of this especially worked a lot for me. And the last act, but like I think everything in the middle I can just lose.
The middle is a slog. So it's definitely not perfect for me either. First half, I do love just like the one after another unload of just like goes from like the autopsy to like cutting. I mean, me as somebody who didn't like Newt, that was even more satisfying. I'm like, yeah, fuck that kid. Fuck that kid.
He's already fucking dead. What do you want?
I'm looking at it from like a screenwriter's perspective of like, how can I just like completely go against audience expectations? Fucking Newt gets killed off within the first 10 minutes and now we're literally sawing her body open. Like Ripley has to fucking shave her whole head because of lice, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, for sure. Give me whatever reason you need. It just adds to the identity of the movie. It's an ugly atmosphere, but it still has an atmosphere to me as well.
It feels uglier to me when it's mixed with the like horrendous CGI.
The CGI is trash, but I mean, is it weird that I kind of like, that's another reason I'm like, yeah, you know what? Make the CGI shitty. I don't care. Like, I want the audience to be like, fuck this. Like, I don't know. I love movies that are just like, kind of just like
shit.
No, I mean, but it's a weird perspective.
Just saying everything
this.
is like bad, and I love it.
I think it's coming off of Aliens because Aliens was a really crowd-pleasing movie. Aliens is a very like, it's full of cheesy one-liners and very Hollywood movie. This to me is like very anti-Hollywood.
There had to have been a bunch of theater walkouts when it came out.
That iconic shot of like, Ripley up against the fucking wall with the alien getting so close to her face, and that whole scene is built up so well.
Spoilers for Alien 3.
Cubed.
Alien Cubed.
I just hate that cubed, by the way.
It's so fucking horrible.
stupid.
It's horrible, but it adds on to the whole, like, just a big amalgamation of bullshit that this movie is that I kind of love it for.
They literally can't name anything just like 2, 3, or 4. They have to be like
They
aliens. Cubed, resurrection.
It's like they fucking hate
Just
numbers.
call
They
it
just
2,
hate
3, and 4,
regular
for fuck's
numbers.
sake.
But no, so that scene though, it's built up so well to where the guy, what's his name?
Charles
Dance.
Dance.
Yeah, Charles Dance. When he injects her with the morphine, that's build up, and then seeing the alien come down immediately after he injects her with the drugs, and then just that sudden fucking death of this character that's been built up like
That's
a
like the
lot,
worst
actually.
part as well. Like he was the best part of the movie for me, honestly. Like his character was genuinely interesting me, and then I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
It kind of makes the alien scary again.
No,
It does.
With how these like important characters that have been built up just getting fucking killed off without like
And
explanation.
kill Ripley because she's annoying in this anyway.
I disagree.
I hate Ripley.
I like her in this too.
After Aliens, I hate her.
She has some really fucking great moments. I love the moment where they're doing like the scan of her,
Yeah.
and she's like insisting that she sees like the alien inside her. Like she's like forcing the guy to like freeze the frame so
Yeah.
she can see. Ripley is like the only thing that really compels me in terms of characters in this, because I don't really like anyone else. I like some of the performances, but I don't necessarily like their characters.
Yeah.
Like I really like Charles Dutton's performance. The character isn't like that great,
Yeah.
but what I will say I do love the idea of this kind of like evangelical like fucking group of prisoners, which I wish they like expanded on a bit more.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there was enough of that there, but I do really like how like spiritual they were.
That's another reason why I think it is unique in that way and adds to the identity, the weird fucking identity of this movie, is the fact that like it is the only alien movie that basically doesn't have like, it's not an actual space crew. It's not like you're not there. It's the only movie that doesn't really have a crew. It's just Ripley and a bunch of these fucking weird bald celibate
And they have no weapons.
inmates, and they have no weapons, and they have all this fucking sexual angst. And so when a woman comes along, then like
Yeah.
they just don't know how to handle it. And it's just such a weird idea. It's such a weird setting, a weird concept, like for an alien movie. And so it just adds that whole weird fucking reason that I just like, I kind of like for how weird and out of the blue it is.
And that fucking line from Charles Dutton oh, I'm a rapist and a murderer of women. Why did you have to get so specific with it?
Rapist
Okay.
of women.
They're all such pieces of
Like,
shit.
okay, we get it. You're not gay.
You can tell me the length of this movie, and I'll still say it's the longest movie ever made because it feels like the longest movie ever made. I was like, when is this gonna end?
It's only like 2 hours,
It
20 minutes.
feels like 4 hours. I felt like I was sitting on the couch forever. Like,
Oh, bro, I wish it was 4 hours. Give me more of this shit.
did you notice
Honestly,
Henry
yeah.
Sellers from Father Ted in this?
Was he in this?
He's like that one right at the end that's like panicking when they're like shutting down that room, kind of, or whatever.
Oh yeah.
No fucking way. Oh my god. What the fuck? No, I didn't even cop that. I guess because he was bald as fuck.
Well, he's wearing a hairpiece in Father Ted anyway, so you know.
What about the ending? What do you guys think about the ending with the Ripley
Oh, Jesus
falling into the
Christ.
incinerator? It's yet another reason why I'm like, yeah, fucking throw her in there. I don't care.
That's fine
like,
and
fuck
all, but
this franchise.
God, it looks awful.
It does look bad. I mean,
It does look horrible, but it looks worse in the theatrical because they have when she's falling into the lava, they have like the alien burst out of her chest.
oh man, I don't remember. Look,
Oh my god.
that's the thing. I've seen the theatrical, but I don't remember what changes were exactly
neither.
made. Yeah.
I only know of that little one, and like all the moments of like really shit compositing are like newly added, I think. Like the fucking alien running down the hall, and it's
Oh.
just like you can see the borders
Yeah.
around. It's cute in a way, but
yeah.
it does look quite bad. No, I like the ending, and I like the confrontation with Wayland. You know, fucking, you know, Lance Henriksen comes back.
Oh,
and he's
yeah,
like, oh
yeah.
yeah, I'm not Bishop. Really
Yeah.
fucking like that scene a lot. And I do like when he gets shot, like he starts bleeding, and he's like, see, I'm human. And I do like how the alien dies, soaked in lead.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And so yeah, I do like the last act of this movie a lot as well. We haven't even talked about the middle section.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
just
It's-
so long and boring.
it's a bit
Apart
long.
from the scene where Charles Dance dies,
Yeah.
there's nothing really in that middle section that, you know, I can say that I like that much.
Yeah, it loses me a bit. It really does lose me too. I used to not like it, but then like just rewatching it, I think it was literally just juxtaposed with Aliens. I guess I just wanted less crowd pleasing stuff, and that is what this movie is it is a fucking downer. It is not a crowd pleaser. And so I just kind of like the sentiment of that. It's like totally just like anti fans, shitty CGI, you know, little like stuff here and there. So it's not perfect.
I really went in with an open mind with this, though. Like, I was sitting there for the entire runtime, and I was like focused, and I was like, I'm looking for things to like, but I don't like it. Just don't like
Yeah.
it. I just don't think it's very good.
I don't
That's
blame you
completely
one bit. I definitely get why people don't like it. So ratings for Alien⁵.
That's gonna be a 2 out of 10 from me.
Whoa, jeepers, McGee.
I mean, I expected it. It's fine. I get it.
That's what I had it at before. I rated it a 6 out of 10.
Look at that.
I liked it.
Moving
I
on
like
up.
this one.
I like
Like
the
it.
old Keelan.
Fuck you. I've changed for the better.
Trap
Eyes
10
been
out of
opened.
10. Alien⁵ 6. I look. You're gonna think I'm crazy. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.
Oh my god.
I was like maybe it's a 7. Nah, fuck it. 8.
It's not even Fincher's worst movie.
Yes,
That
it
is true.
The Game.
What? You don't like the game? I
Yeah.
like the game a lot.
The Game or The Killer. I don't like either of them. They're both boring.
Yeah.
I love the
You-
game.
yeah.
I'm sure I'll
Love the
like
game
the
too.
Killer at least more than Alien⁵.
That's a high bar. Don't go in with expectations that high.
If it's a 3 out of 10, then that's great.
That's true.
It's a win.
That's an improvement.
Fincher's
Yeah, he's
back,
back.
That's a
baby.
win. Yeah, I guess moving on to Resurrection.
From the year I
Um,
was born.
Me too.
Yes.
Year I was born too, 97. 200 years after Lieutenant Ripley died, a group of scientists clone her, hoping to breed the ultimate weapon, but the new Ripley is full of surprises, as are the new aliens. Ripley must team with a band of smugglers to keep the creature from reaching Earth. It was directed by this French guy, I'm not going to pronounce his name, but he did Amelie.
Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
Look at that.
It's so weird. He directed, Amelie and A Very Long Engagement. I want to see that.
I think this Amelie was like his first movie after this. This is such an interesting movie, and I think the choice of director is a lot of why I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
Because apparently what happened was he was hired to do this movie. He didn't speak a word of English at the time when he was hired. He was not familiar with American cinema, so apparently what he did is he just watched a load of popular American films and took down like the common threads between each one, and that's how we get Alien Resurrection.
Holy shit.
And I deeply respect it for that, because this movie is nuts.
But you know who wrote it, right?
Joss fucking Whedon.
Oh
the
god, he
GOAT.
did.
Yes.
He also wrote Toy Story. This is his like first job after Toy Story, I think.
Good double feature.
I hate this movie. This is one of my least favorite movies.
Ever?
Since that rewatch, like, there's things that I can appreciate there, but God, it's very, very, very little.
But why?
Because it's bad. And it's silly. And I've had enough at this point in the franchise.
I like it because it's silly.
Because I used to not like this movie at all. I think I had it like a 3 out of 10. I used to also just like hate it for how fucking stupid everything was, because it is so stupid. It's a really weird movie.
I had this at a 1 out of 10.
It's another kind of anti-fan movie, but not as hard as Alien³.
It's a lot
but
campier.
Like, it's much campier. Yes, it is very 90s. It is very campy, very cheesy, and very like dumb movie to throw on. And I feel like I can have fun with it. Why is everything so sexual? Why is everyone horny?
Maybe like between Alien 3 and this, it's just that it's such a detraction from like Alien and Aliens that I just cannot get behind it, and it's like ruined the character of Ripley at this point. So I'm just so bored of everything. None of it's really that interesting to me. I mean, it's goofy shit, but like it's not in the best way to me. Like it looks ugly at times, and like I was eating during like the opening scene or whatever, and I'm like, this opening scene is fucking disgusting. It looks vile a lot of the time.
I kind of disagree
It's
because
icky.
I think there's a lot of good shots in.
I mean, it's Darius Konji. There's going to be some good shots, yeah, but like some bad shots.
Yeah, but I also think this movie has the best looking aliens. I think the aliens look amazing in this. Like, they're so fucking cool. I love how goopy they are.
Yeah.
They're just like constantly fucking dripping with like slime.
Dude.
It's so cool. I love how like midnight black they are.
I like that too, but to be honest, like the whole movie is kind of dark, but even it adds on to that about the xenomorphs. It also kind of like takes away from, it feels like it has less of a aesthetic and atmosphere, even like less than Alien³ for me. It's just kind of dingy.
I like this. It is fun and it is goofy, and I do think it has some genuinely interesting elements, and I think parallels between Ripley and Winona Ryder's character, I find that very engaging, and I like how it's dealt with, especially in like the last half of the movie. And I think the performances are all like really likable. I mean, Ron Perlman, he's Ron Perlman. Love Ron Perlman.
Likeable.
Liam, it's Ron Perlman. Come on.
But his character
in like his worst role.
But I just love all the goofy, silly shit, like fucking Ripley doing like the overhead throw.
Yeah, with the basketball.
The basketball.
Yeah, the basketball scene.
It's just so...
God, it reminds me of the fucking
just...
basketball scene in Escape from LA. It's like, why am I watching this character play basketball? But it's like,
it was so annoying
funny.
when she's
It's
just
campy.
like moving it all around Ron Perlman's head or whatever and shit, and just...
It's fine when it's David, but not Ripley. Okay, that's fine.
That campy shit about the movie that I like, though, just like that scene for me. Although, yet again, though, I mean, my first time watching it, I thought it was stupid. It was the way I viewed it this time. And knowing I was going into a campy 90s shit show, I kind of like enjoyed it for, I guess, its weird decisions. There are honestly genuinely some like really cool fucking looking scenes. Like, to me, a scene I totally forgot about was like the whole underwater chase sequence. I kind of thought that looked pretty cool. I don't know why.
That looked sick as fuck.
But seeing those aliens swimming was like, I mean, it's
weird.
the only time you ever see xenomorphs swim.
The CGI for the aliens swimming underwater looks really fucking good. Considering it's from 1997, I thought it was really fucking well done. The whole chase, I just thought it was so engaging, and everything that happens after that. Oh my god, it is so much fucking fun. I just have a blast with this one. Like, it is shitty, it is schlocky, it's campy. I can't deny it. I did have a lot of fun with it. Like, fucking hell.
Spoilers for Alien Resurrection.
And can we talk about the fucking chest bursting scene with that guy?
Yes.
And the fucking, how he's just like, fucking, just kind of the bullets flying through him, and how it's such a goofy fucking scene. It's my favorite scene in the movie. And then when he grabs the guy and the alien bursts through both of them, it was like, I was like, this is fucking awesome. This is hilarious.
And the fucking Death Stranding shot, like, going down his fucking throat.
Oh my god.
It's crazy. I do really like the newborn. I think
The newborn
is
is so bad. It looks so bad. It's awful. Its stupid little face, like, sniffing around, like, get away from me. God.
Its death scene, like, actually kind of horrified me.
It's so funny. It's so stupid.
It horrified you.
It's just getting sucked through the window, and it's just like
the
screams. I was
stupidest
just like,
death scene of all
come
time.
on.
Oh my god.
But it was kind of gross how it's like being pulled through like the tiniest hole, and it's just being ripped apart. I was like, ew.
It's fucked
like, it
up.
already
It's
looks
cruel,
gross.
but like, damn.
It is.
Yeah, which is why I felt bad for the newborn. It's just like, oh, it was born like an hour ago, and now it just doesn't know what it's doing.
Yeah.
And now it needs to be killed.
It is kind of sad, actually,
felt-
the more I think about it, yeah.
It was.
I don't give a fuck. It's weird and goofy looking, and it's an abomination.
What I was saying earlier about, like, I liking the parallels between Winona Ryder's character and Ripley's character. I really love the character of Call. I think she's probably my favorite part of this movie. And, you know, I like Winona Ryder in general. I think she's a great actress, but, like, having her character be with Ripley the whole movie, and they're kind of, like, in the same boat where, like, they're both, like, people that are uncomfortable with who they are. Like, Call she was revealed to be an android. Throughout the movie, she's almost kind of displaying, like, she wants to be more human, I suppose. She's kind of outwardly more human. She's kind of trying to be more empathetic, like with taking in that guy who fucking does the chest burster thing. Like, scenes like that, I'm just like, that adds a lot to Call's character, and especially with the reveal of her being an android, it does give a lot of weight to these characters, I think. And with the whole thing of, like, Ripley being cloned over and over to try find the perfect fucking Ripley to birth new fucking aliens out of, it's an interesting concept, and it's really fucked up, and I really enjoy it. And also, another thing I'd like to mention, Brad Dourif. I always like seeing him in movies. I love Brad Dourif in this. He's so fucking campy
weird
and cool.
He tries making out with the xenomorph through the glass. God, like, he looks so... Has Brad Dourif ever looked normal? Like, he looks like Wormtongue in this. He really looks like Wormtongue. Just a little, with a slimy, pale face.
That Breaking Bad dude's in this as well.
Yeah, Tuco. I don't know his name, but yeah, Tuco got a good... he had
Raymond
a good Tuco
Cruz.
moment, too, when he found out that Winona Ryder was an android. He was, like, freaking out like Tuco, and I'm like, hell yeah, that's... I remember that voice. I remember that yelling.
I think one of my favorite parts of the movie is when the aliens break out and they have to kill the other alien to get its acid on the floor, and it fucking melts the floor. I love that shit so much, where they're like fucking scheming and shit. Yeah. And they're like, okay, what the fuck are we gonna do? And they just kill that alien, and then shit fucking... Oh my god, I really love that whole scene, and like the alien going into like the escape shuttle. It's so fucking cool.
I think we can all agree it's the weirdest of the franchise for many reasons.
And I think that's why I like it so much.
Yeah. I don't know. The ratings for Alien Resurrection.
That'll be a 2 out of 10 for me, but it used to be a 1 out of 10, so that's good, I guess.
We're making...
Yay.
I still hate it a lot.
Going with a strong 7 out of 10. I really fucking like it.
I'm meeting you right there. I'm going with a 7 as well. I had fun with it. It's dumb. It's like the Jason X of the franchise. It's like, you know, that's how I viewed it. So where it's like so fucking stupid, but like if you're willing to embrace the stupid, I guess, like it can be fun. Prometheus is the next. Ridley Scott is back. Our boy's back with an alien movie. A team of explorers discover a clue to the origins of mankind on Earth, leading them on a journey to the darkest corners of the universe. There, they must fight a terrifying battle to save the future of the human race. It's the only alien movie without alien in the title. I think definitely a good idea.
Yes.
Definitely.
Because they wanted it to be completely separate to Alien, and I respect that, and I wish they fucking went harder with that. Fucking hell, sorry. Well, I'll speak for all of us.
Oh boy.
It's good until it isn't.
Okay, well, we'll get into that when it's spoilers, maybe, like when it doesn't get good for you, but like, I can totally see why this is divisive. Like, this not really an alien movie, but kind of, I guess. And I don't know. It works well as its own sci-fi movie. Like, even if you went into it not really knowing it was an alien movie.
I find the whole exploration like really interesting, just how it all unravels in the start.
I do too. The first half is the strongest for me, and I do really like the first half because that is dealing more with, you know, exploration and scientific discovery. Like, I don't overly love any characters. I think Elizabeth is good. David is obviously a standout.
Yeah.
David is like the standout of this movie. Michael Fassbender is like fantastic. Like, easily one of the best performances in the franchise, I think. It's a shame that it kind of goes off the rails in the way it does, but we'll get into that with spoilers. But just them discovering like the fucking caves and the caverns and stuff, it's really fucking cool. And it's so breathtaking with how like everything looks. It has this like really uniquely like digital look to it. And sorry, to go back to what you were saying about like anyone could just watch this as a normal sci-fi movie, I think that was the intention with this movie. But apparently it was more so along the lines of, yeah, it's kind of an alien movie, but it's just completely different. It's just in the same universe, that sort of thing. And I appreciate that they went in that direction, because it is a smart direction to go in. And yeah, like I was saying, that first half, full of great moments, full of great visuals.
Well, for one thing, I do think it's one of the best looking Alien movies without a doubt. I mean, this movie looks just fucking gorgeous. I mean, we can all agree on that. And like the music, it honestly might have some of my favorite themes out of any of the Alien soundtracks too. Like the Prometheus theme is just so good. It's just so beautiful. And like, yeah, the character of David, like it's tied with Ripley as my favorite character from the entire franchise.
I agree.
Honestly, coincidental, like the last episode I recently watched Lawrence of Arabia. I love how they try and like, that's such like a component to his character for some reason. Like he quotes that movie. You can see him watching that movie. They literally make him look and sound like the guy from Lawrence of Arabia. So like that's like another little cool connection I liked. Literally my only little like nitpicks is just some really like some of the characters seem really dumb at times. Just a couple of them, just like some choices they make and stuff.
Some?
Well,
Some.
I mean,
Yeah, some.
Yeah, I don't love the characters. I really only love David.
I think one of my least favorite characters in here is Charlize Theron's character.
Oh,
yeah,
I hate
she's
her.
just kind of nothing.
She's just there. She's just there.
That's the only thing that's ever really detracted from the movie for me. It's like every time she's on screen, I'm like,
Even though I like Sean Harrison, Rafe Spall, I don't know, like that. There's a scene with the fucking Cobra thing. I hate that. I don't know. It's like, come on.
But like, what a cast as well. This has like a much bigger cast than I fucking remembered. Like fucking Idris Elba as well.
He's so funny in it.
Spoilers for Prometheus.
You got any? I'm assuming Keelan. Maybe you have
Go on.
something you've been wanting to say.
Oh, it takes such a nosedive. It's such a fucking nosedive in that second half, and it does start with the scene with the fucking Cobra. It does start with that. Everything after that, oh my god, it's just mind-bogglingly stupid, and it starts to annoy me more and more with just how much it just tries to explain about alien mythology. I hate that the fucking space jockey, it turns out to be the engineers in masks. I fucking hate that. It detracts from such a mysterious, frightening visual in the first one. I don't like that that's the thing at all. I do think that the engineers are interesting characters overall. They're an interesting like species, and I like anything that kind of dealt with them. But that's like the one thing I didn't really like with them. All the characters are the most stupid fucking characters in existence, and that would never usually bother me. If a character makes a stupid decision in a movie, fine, I can suspend my disbelief. But when it's every fucking character, oh my god, they're so fucking dumb. Yeah. Elizabeth is the best character in this, well, second best character in this movie because she's not overly dumb. And the highlight of this movie to me is the surgery scene.
Yeah.
The surgery scene is fucking amazing.
Fantastic.
It's my favorite scene.
It's so hardcore.
When the embryo comes out and like the sac rips and like all the fluid goes into her stomach, it's so fucking disgusting, and I love how hard they went with it. Oh, I love that shit.
Me too.
Everything else, man, I can't be dealing with it. The fucking sacrifice from like Idris Elba and the guys is, oh my fucking
I know.
God. Why did that have to be in this
so cool,
movie?
No. It's fucking cool. It's badass. It's just flying into it like, fuck yeah, we're all dead. Woo!
I really didn't like it really was Charlize Theron's character and the little thing with the space cobra. I was like, I just don't like the idea.
Charlize was like borderline bad in this. A lot of her line deliveries just felt just so flat and boring. Oh my god, when she's talking to Wayland and she just fucking drops out, father, or whatever. Oh my god, it's so fucking forced.
I like all the discussions it brings up. I think it's just like an interesting movie that you can really think about a lot. I always enjoy that shit.
No, I love how philosophical like the franchise takes a turn to. Like this and Covenant, they can so easily come off pretentious because like it is so philosophically driven and just talking.
Relatively dense to a point as well.
Yeah, and I just kind of like that. I don't know. I like digging into like fucking history of things and like the lore and just like the deep questions about shit.
Yeah, I think it touches upon like the lore and everything in a quite interesting way. It doesn't feel like too much for me or anything. It's just like, this is intriguing and I want to know more, and that's like kind of why I'm pissed off that he didn't do another one after Covenant, but whatever.
I know.
I think my biggest issue with the lore building is literally just the space jockey thing, because most of the stuff isn't horrible. I don't really like the idea of the aliens being manufactured as such. It does bring up a lot of interesting philosophical talking points. I do think that's kind of limited to the first half of the movie more than anything, because the second half of the movie is just kind of like a disaster movie almost, where everything is just fucking up. Like there's one thing after another, and I don't think there's enough there to like keep me interested personally. I've seen this about 3 or 4 times as well, but this last rewatch, like I was engaged in the first half and I was like, oh, is this where I become a Prometheus fan, and then as soon as that shit fucking happens, it just nosedives for me completely, I'm afraid. I understand why it has its lovers. Like, there is a lot of cool shit in here.
I think one of the biggest draws to it and Covenant is David.
You wouldn't think this franchise needed so bad, but it really, like, the turn that it took, I just love the shift it took with this franchise, with Ridley Scott coming back, getting Michael Fassbender in there, making it fucking philosophical as hell. I was like, this is like really just like, this is what I want. Like, this is interesting to me.
But it's also like, just having the idea of like an android be learning all of this and like being passionate about all of it. It's so weird and strange, but it really works.
Capitalized way more in Covenant, but just the whole idea of androids, it's like he went back to Blade Runner in a way, with like, you know, androids trying to figure out what it means to be human, and that they want to be human, and that humans are like not really worthy of their consciousness and shit.
I think that's why I find it so fascinating.
What do you think about that? Because the ending is also pretty big. For the engineer fighting the fucking tentacle monster and then the alien coming out, like, what'd you think of that?
It's a pretty cool moment.
It's really fucking cool. I think it's really cool.
It's very cool.
Kind of fucking epic.
I love the way it's edited.
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh my gosh,
constant,
when it keeps cutting in
black.
and out.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's so creepy.
Also, it's called The Deacon. Look, for all this movie's faults, it's like, there was a cute little alien. I like that little alien.
It was really cute.
Bump it up a bit more.
I think I'm going to give it a 10 because of that. My actual score would be a 5 out of 10. I wish I liked it more. There are a lot of aspects I appreciate, but I can't be getting down with that last hour.
I would give it a 9. It's not quite perfect. There's still some moments I really don't like, or just characters I don't like, but I love the look of the movie, the fucking what it tries to do. I don't know.
I think the things that have bothered me about this movie have been very, very small, so I'm just still fine with going with a 10. I always love it when I watch it. Why not?
Nice.
I'm crazy.
You're so loco.
I'm wacky. I'm kooky.
5 years later, 2017, Ridley Scott came back for a sequel to Prometheus called Alien Covenant. Yeah, the crew of the colony ship Covenant, bound for a remote planet on the far side of the galaxy, discovers what they think is an uncharted paradise, but is actually a dark, dangerous world. So pretty straightforward.
Very dangerous.
As divisive as Prometheus, if not more divisive.
Oh, I love this movie. It's so good.
I loved it too. I fucking loved it too my
good.
second time. Well, it was my third time actually. The moments that I thought were really dumb overshadowed everything for me my first watch or two, with the reasons I liked Prometheus. It just kind of like painted everything and made me realize all the things I liked about Prometheus I kind of enjoy here as well.
I'm also gonna say
but
this
still
might get some
perfect.
Disagreement, but I think it's a better looking movie than Prometheus.
Oh,
I wouldn't
I'm
argue.
fucking crazy, but I love the look of this movie. It's so nasty, but like in the best way. It's just so disgusting, like in some of the ways it shows shit, and it's like gory a lot of the time, and I really like that.
It's probably the most violent.
Yeah, no, I love that too.
It's so gory, but it's so cool. Like the back scene alone, like the coming out of the guy's
Ooh.
back. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, no, I love how it is like the goriest alien movie, and that's something I think the franchise kind of lacked, honestly. Like even in the first movie, you didn't see any gore really besides that chest bursting scene.
I also kind of want to bring it back to like what I said earlier about like 3 and Resurrection kind of like being like sickly and kind of making me feel like just gross. Like this does that, but in a better way for me. I feel like it's really nasty a lot of the time. Like even that whole like back scene, how that all comes to be, like the thing flying in the guy's ear and shit, and then he starts looking more and more sick and gross, and it's so well handled. I really love it.
That scene in particular, it's just so, the stuff like the little spores like flying into their ears or their nose and like burrowing itself, like that makes me, and the music too, it's just so uncomfortable. It makes me so creeped the fuck out and uncomfortable. I don't know why.
Score here. Like if you listen to the score on its own, it's fucking amazing. I love the score.
Keelan, what do you think?
I like Danny McBride.
There you go.
I think he was really cool.
Tennessee.
Genuinely, there was like a few moments where I thought he was like really, really fucking good. Like, but the biggest moment is probably a spoiler, so we'll say that for later.
Yeah.
But I think we know the scene I'm talking about. I thought that was really fucking well done, and it was some great acting by his part. But also, who the fuck decided that he should pivot into horror? Because he also wrote fucking the new Halloween trilogy, and I think The Exorcist Believer as well.
Oh boy.
Fuck yeah, it's so weird. It's really weird. He should not write horror. He's good in this, but I don't want him writing.
No, I like the first Halloween.
I get why people like it. But the rest are shit.
Michael Fassbender's pretty good, isn't it?
Great.
He's very good. I think he's even better because he's basically playing 2 different personalities, like entirely too.
He is the 2 pillars that hold this movie up for me big time. I think it's like,
I agree.
There's like a little bit of a negative for me is like the reason it's not a 10 for me and probably won't be is Catherine Waterston. I think she's very boring.
Uncharacteristically boring, because I really like her usually.
Yeah, she's usually fine, but here she's just so, like, nothing. Especially among, like, all the conversations between David and Walter and shit. Like, it's all so fascinating, and then you're just cutting back to her all the time, and it's like, her story is not interesting at all, and she doesn't look like she's happy to be there.
To be fair, she's, like, her character, basically, for the entirety of the movie is, like, grieving the loss of her
Yeah,
husband,
I know,
you know?
but,
So,
like, she feels bored in her performance, I feel like.
I think I like her at the end, but most of the movie, I think she's, quite bland.
Fucking Billy Crudup, I didn't remember how fucking much I hated his character. Like, he is a bad fucking captain. Like, he's just, like, he won't even let her bury her husband. Like, he doesn't even want that.
Her husband being James Franco for some reason.
I think that's just a funny choice to, like, have James Franco, arguably one of the biggest actors out of all this, just die within the first 10 minutes.
I feel like he begged Danny McBride to ask.
Probably.
To put him in the movie.
Probably.
I do really like the opening scene with David and Wayland.
When it's like he becomes awake and he's just naming things and then he's playing the piano and they're just talking. And it's fucking good. It's just, I love those are the moments I love the most out of these two movies. The little character moments with the androids and just like how they process things.
Spoilers for Alien Covenant.
There's one scene I really don't like, actually, even though I love this movie this time around. It's a love-hate thing with this scene because it is like probably the goriest scene in the movie. It's the back scene that you're talking about, but it's everything that follows that. I just feel like it's so the characters annoy me so much because they're just like fucking like Looney Tunes, like slipping on blood and shit, and like just being so clumsy as hell, and just like it happens like not once but twice. Like the character, it's like there's a giant puddle of blood, like you're fucking like stepping, you know you're about to slip in this shit. I do like the part where the alien's like ripping her face off and shit, like it's just getting all up in there, that little alien.
I've been shitting on Ridley Scott a lot, and after thinking about it, I don't think I blame him for how much I fucking hate this movie. Trying to gather thoughts on this because like I strongly fucking hate this movie, and like this is another one that I've seen I think I've seen all the Alien movies multiple times, but I saw this in the cinema and my initial reaction was like, yeah, it's all right. And then I watched it again and it just this is like my fourth watch, I think, and it just kept going down because like I do not vibe with this at all. It's a thing where it's struggling to be both a Prometheus sequel and an Alien movie, and it doesn't feel like it knows what it wants to be. And I like the Prometheus angles in concept, but it just feels the need to be an Alien movie more often than not, and I don't think I can blame that mostly on Ridley Scott, even though Prometheus is like the highest grossing movie of this franchise, I think. So I think he would have been fine doing an Alien Prometheus 2, which I think would have been the best case scenario, because if he expanded on the ideas from Prometheus and he also had like a better fucking less stupid crew of people, that could have been a good movie. Maybe we could have been having a different conversation now, but it had to be a really fucking dull and fucking uninteresting, no excitement whatsoever. It just kind of fucking ruins Alien lore for me. I hate how the alien looks in this movie at the end. I hate that they show it in broad daylight. I don't like David in this movie that much, honestly. I like him in concept, and I do like the concept of him staying on that planet and almost making a new civilization just to destroy it again because he's unhappy with it.
Destruction scene is very fucking cool.
But it just doesn't go hard enough with that angle for me to draw me in, and it's more so the alien aspect of the movie that I don't like at all.
I can see how it can be jarring, just like going from the scenes of the xenomorphs and just like people getting killed and picked off, but then also trying to have the deep Prometheus like elements to it as well. But like so it's jarring, but I also didn't mind it. Like I was able to separate it. But I don't know how Prometheus was received at the time, but like I could imagine maybe there was a lot of fans that were, I don't know if they wanted, like if they were upset that there was no xenomorphs, so that's why they shoved so many in this movie. I have no idea.
I mean, this one's actually got Alien in the title, though, so...
Which I feel like was also a choice, like an obvious choice to, like, promote it and try and sell it, because I feel like Prometheus was probably a much harder sell.
Like, there's cool concepts in terms of, like, body horror stuff, and like, the one scene I do really like in this... Well, it's one, like, shot, but when the alien just fucking comes out of the dude's mouth.
Yeah.
And it's such a disgusting visual, and I just love the look of it. Whatever that first alien was for the first time. And
and he's doing
looking at it and trying to communicate with it.
Yeah. That was a good
really
scene.
I like that. The rest of the movie, man, I can't get down with it. Cannot get down
This
with
movie's just perfect to me. It's like a mad scientist in space just operating on shit and going nuts, and he's not even like a human. Like it's cool. It's really cool, and it's wacky, and I like it.
Cool.
I think it balances things really well, but yeah, it's not going to work for everyone.
I mean, I'm fucking glad I recommended this topic too, because like I said, I was one of those people that didn't like Covenant. I think I had it at like maybe a 5 or 6 out of 10 before this, but like it really jumped up a lot for me, and like it leads to a scene that I really like. And I don't know if people are like, maybe Keelan hates the scene. I have no idea. The scene between the two androids and the flute.
It's one of my most quoted quotes of all time.
I'll do the fingering.
Yet again, it brings back that whole sexual like tension for some reason to these alien movies. Like it's so weird too, because it's extra weird because it's two Fassbenders, and then they have that kiss too. It's very weird.
Love the kiss.
I wish they fucked.
What did you think of Walter, by the way? Like, did you like him
I like
too?
Walter.
I like his character a lot. I just love seeing these two androids opposing views on like humanity and like helping humans and stuff. Like I love seeing that. Just yet again reminds me of fucking Blade Runner. Like it just reminds me of Blade Runner. I really wish that they would have made a sequel to this. I really wish that they would have added on to this storyline. Yeah, I want more Michael Fassbender and all this shit. I want more of that.
I'll go with a 9 out of 10.
I'm going with you there. 9 out of 10. I really liked it that much.
2 out of 10. Well, Alien Covenant fucking sucks. Fuck Ridley Scott and his stupid fucking movies. He's only made 2 fucking good movies in his fucking
with you
life.
and Ridley Scott?
Blade Runner and Alien. Fuck Ridley Scott. Holy shit.
Hey, but I agree that like Alien and Blade Runner is his 2 best movies, but I'm glad I like these 2.
Only good movies.
Moving on to the final movie, which just recently came out 7 years later. Alien Romulus, directed by Fede Alvarez. You know, he did the Evil Dead remake, Don't Breathe.
Holy shit, you didn't fuck up a name.
Is that actually how you pronounce it?
I would not have expected that either. I was saying like Fade or something.
While scavenging the deep ends of a derelict space station, a group of young space colonizers come face to face with the most terrifying life form in the universe. That's it. It's pretty simple.
Very simple.
That's part of the reason why I didn't love it, unfortunately, is because it is very, after 7 years of not getting an Alien movie, it's like we're just kind of reverting back to the old formula.
Who the fuck are you? You used to love your little simple movies.
No,
man.
I do love my simple movies, I do, but like, yet again, it's probably the thought of like, they came back, and I don't know why, man. I think I was wanting more Prometheus Alien Covenant storyline. I didn't want to go back to, we're jumping ahead to this. I don't know.
This is very similar to obviously the first Alien, and it's been brought up in one of your reviews maybe, but Isolation especially.
It does have big Isolation vibes, and I love that.
Me
about
too.
it. I love the little moments that remind me of Isolation. Like,
Yeah.
just like that in the first act when they first get on Romulus and they're just exploring it. I was like, ooh, this is like Alien Isolation. And they even have like, you can even see like the save points in the games, like in this movie. And also like the little like handle generators as well that you have to use in the game. It just kind of goes to show that the people who did make this are fans, and I do appreciate that. Like I don't think like everyone making a franchise movie has to be a fan, but it's nice when they go that deep with it and incorporate other aspects from like even outside of movies. I really like this movie overall. Like, okay, when we were talking about Deadpool and Wolverine, we were talking about, oh yeah, the fan servicey shit, we're kind of sick of it or whatever. This kind of feels like a good medium to me, where it does have the callbacks, and the callbacks are horrible, like genuinely the worst parts of the movie. I think it does enough to stand on its own as its own Alien movie, and it kind of justifies its existence. And it does that from the very start, because it is like a new crew that we're unfamiliar with, in terms of that they're just like working people. And I love the scene at the start where Kaylee Spaney's character goes to that office, and she's like, oh yeah, I've worked my allotted amount of hours, and then they're like, oh sorry, you're gonna have to work like 20 more fucking years before you can get out of here. I just like that, and I do like Kaylee Spaney's character, and I love the character of Andy. I think Andy is such a cool character. He's like the highlight of this movie.
He was pretty good.
And David Johnson's performance I thought was like really fucking great. He did both aspects of his character. it is flawed, and I'm assuming we all have the same big
Oh
flaw
yeah, baby, we do.
that I don't even feel bad for like putting it in the non-spoiler
Yeah.
section.
Fuck it. Let's just mention it. Like,
The Ian Holm deepfake, fuck that.
Yeah.
Genuinely fuck that.
Yeah.
I think that took like maybe half a star off the movie.
It makes
for
me so angry. It took a lot off the movie for me. Like, especially because
Yeah.
it's focused on for so long.
gosh, it looks
It's in it
terrible.
so
too.
fucking much, and it looked
It looks
horrible.
I saw this in IMAX. It looked horrendous.
Its mouth is like completely disconnected from
Yeah.
its face
Yeah.
and its eyes, and it's just like it's so uncanny looking, but not in a good way. It just looks so fucking ugly.
Yeah.
And it was Ridley Scott who suggested
Yeah,
that
and I cannot
they
believe
deepfake
that.
fucking Ian Holm.
Dude, Ridley's
Like,
losing
oh my
it, man.
I think the way to get around it, I did mention it in my review, is like when he's seen for the first time, it's not that bad, where it's just like you see the silhouette of his face.
Yeah, but like they do linger on
But
it.
he's
like
a genuine,
real
like,
person.
big plot point in the movie, which is the most annoying part.
He's
Yeah.
mainly he's pretty much the villain.
Yeah.
It's such a huge fucking stain on this movie because there's so many other aspects of this movie that I do like.
Yeah.
I think if the Alien franchise is to continue, this is kind of the way to do it, in that just give like a horror director, like what they're doing with Evil Dead, just give a fucking up and coming horror director an Alien movie, see what they can do with it. Put in stuff that maybe like past directors haven't thought of. Because there's one thing in particular movie that I'm fucking shocked they haven't done yet. And that's a spoiler, but like it was really cool and it was satisfying seeing it finally fucking happen. And I like that the acid blood is a threat again in this.
Yeah, it's true.
Whereas in like the last couple, it was just like, they bleed acid, I guess.
It is too bad that Ian Holm thing really dragged it down a lot for me too, because it just felt like one of those cheaps. It felt like some bullshit that you see from Star Wars these days, bringing back these
We
old
did
fucking
see
actors.
it in Star Wars.
Exactly. That's exactly what. Yeah.
It made me, like, rethink Rogue One a bit. So it was like, I don't know if I like
with
can
fucking
appreciate
Tarkin.
that, if I really don't appreciate this.
Yeah.
Its plot wasn't hinging on that as much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
His plot wasn't hinging on it, but it also had the restraint to keep him more in the dark, and it looked more real because it wasn't so out in the open.
It's also just such a confusing decision considering how much of an emphasis there is on practical effects, because all the effects look fucking phenomenal.
Well, it's that, like,
The
the
sets
practical
are so
effects and
cool.
the passion that everyone put into it, and like the fact that they're like fans, you know, making this and shit. But
Yeah.
then that also, it's a completely different thing. It's just disrespectful.
It is completely disrespectful and just straight up evil, I think. I hate
Yeah.
this fucking trend of like bringing back dead actors. Recast someone. Like Star Wars does it a fuck ton. Luke Skywalker and like what, the Mandalorian or whatever, they
Yeah.
just fucking defect over like a guy who looks exactly like Mark Hamill. You can
It is.
find people who look exactly like this. Halloween Kills did it really well, where they had like fucking Donald Pleasance and they just made up a guy who looked a lot like Donald Pleasance.
That's true.
That looked fucking amazing. Like I was like, is that CGI or like what the fuck is it? But no, it was just a dude in makeup. That's the way to do this shit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
agree.
sure there's like many Englishmen who look exactly like Ian Holm. Like it's not that hard.
Definitely. And you could hire him from cheap too. Like just hire him for cheap. Who cares?
Less expensive than CGI for like
Yeah.
fucking however long he's on screen.
Fuck. I feel like another big reason why I don't like all those positives I like about the movie too, but the reason that I can't love it more is because like I feel like absolutely none of the Alien movies prior to this, all 6 of them, none of them rely or like kind of piggyback off the back of the other ones that were before it. Like it feels like this is the only one that has so many random callbacks and like references to the prior Alien movies when that was never a thing with the franchise. It's just, I don't know, it's just jarring. It feels out of place for an Alien movie. It really does. It just kind of takes me out of it.
Spoilers for Alien Romulus.
I agree with what you're saying, but I think this is enough of its own thing to kind of stand on its own. With the callbacks, like the fucking "get away from her, you bitch."
Don't get me
Get
started.
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that was
What
dumb.
no, that was horrible. And even
Yeah.
like the
Even the
repeating
delivery of
the-
it was just awful. Like it's
was
just
dumb.
oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
and the repeating of like the fucking "I can't lie about your chances, but you have my
Oh.
sympathies" line. Stop doing that. Like
Yeah.
without if it didn't have those, I don't think this would have like as bad a reputation as it does right now for like being a fan servicey film. Apart from that, I don't really feel like it's overly fan servicey. I feel like it is a new director trying to do something with Alien or just make like a solid Alien movie. And
It just doesn't feel like
is
it
a
makes
solid
sense
Alien
for
movie.
any of those things to be there.
And I can name you like at least two or three other things. Like one at the end, they do the iconic, like in Aliens, one of the open shots is like Ellen or Ripley's face like fading into that sort of fucking planet, you know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about? They do that exact same shot at the ending, and I just kind of rolled my eyes at that point, because I'm like, really? Like, you're even redoing like iconic shots from past Alien movies? And then also when like he's teaching her how to use the gun, it's just like the scene from Aliens, the alien coming in close to her and drooling and shit for a second. Like, I was like, really? You're redoing all the iconic shots from like the Alien movies? They literally take things from every Alien movie, basically.
Like,
even Resurrection, which we'll get into.
You were just gonna
what?
bring that up, but like,
Yeah. I just want to mention the one example of like callback, reference, whatever, that I did like, and it was literally just when they talk about the Prometheus thing, they bring the Prometheus theme music in the background. I liked that because I was like, okay, it's not shoving it in our face. It's just like, oh, I remember that. Like, I love that Prometheus theme.
I mean, even Alien Covenant uses the 1979 theme a lot. I didn't mention that when we were talking about Covenant. I don't like the score. I don't like how overbearing it is. Sorry. I think there was like a lot of great action moments in this movie. Like, I think that's kind of what held this movie up for me a lot.
I love the acid scene.
The acid scene was so fucking sick.
Yeah.
It was like so tense and just so good looking. The thing that I was talking about earlier when I said, oh yeah, why haven't they done this before? The guy getting killed by acid? Like, fuck yeah. I love seeing that shit. I wish they went a bit harder with it, but like that was fucking cool. And that like the fucking vagina on the wall or whatever, that was fucking that's fucking gross as hell. I loved it.
And I like the anti-gravity moment to where like when the aliens are floating, then when she fucking blows them away and the acid is just like fucking flying. Like, I love that shit. It looked great. It looked really good. The resurrection thing, dude. Well, first of all,
we got another
the
newborn.
newborn's back, but holy shit, I got it. I don't know how you
crazy.
guys feel about it. I fucking loved it though. I loved it. It
I
is the
liked
highlight of the movie.
That was one of the biggest highlights for me too. Yeah. It was really cool.
And that's just a fucking dude in makeup.
Yeah,
It's
an
exactly.
actual
It's that
guy.
seven. Yeah, it's a fucking Romanian basketball player that they got. This 7'7"
when they do
tall
shit like
guy
that.
in a
Yes.
suit. Yeah,
Don't
it's
make it fucking CGI.
Exactly. So I did love that. I've got to commend the movie for that.
I really liked that jump scare at the end. Where
Oh,
she's
that was a
climbing
pretty
up
good
the
jump
rope.
scare. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought that was like
Yeah.
that really caught me off guard. It
Yeah,
kind of looked like
dude.
the engineer as well.
Yeah.
Like in the face,
Yeah.
it was like a mix of the engineer and the newborn,
Yeah.
and the
It's
xenomorph,
so-
obviously. But
It's
It
so
was-
weird. It's so uncomfortable.
Slender
yeah.
Man-y.
It is.
yeah,
But I gotta say, like, the build up to that scene, honestly, I have to say that entire final sequence of like when she gives birth and then when it like, you know, the sort of egg, whatever it is, like melts through the floor and you don't know where it is and you don't know what it's turning into, and the music and the build up to that, it is genuinely the best moment of, to me, genuinely the best sequence of suspense in any Alien movie ever, even anything better than the original. I know it's kind of probably crazy, but like,
really.
Wow.
to me, no, really, like I watched that scene twice because like when I was working at the movie theater, I had to go back in the theater, and like it is the build up to it, like the build up to not knowing what the fuck that thing is, like seeing the footprints, the fucking music, and then just like when it pans over and you see that thing just sitting there, and like I was like, holy fuck, like that is like, that's just so
Creepy
good.
shit. There's so many good things about the filmmaking in this movie. I just wish that
There
fucking
is.
Ian Home abomination wasn't there, and all
Yeah,
the
I
references
know.
and shit. Yeah, like it could have been so good.
It really detracts from an otherwise like really fucking great, solid Alien movie.
Just that final, I mean, if the whole movie was more like that final 15 to 20 minutes, because I don't know, I just, it was so weird to me, it was so disturbing to me, and like the way it looked and the way it was shot, that like it is the only, I also have to give this movie props because it is the only time that in any Alien movie I was genuinely creeped out. Like the xenomorphs have never creeped me out. I just think they're cool. I've never been creeped out by any of the creatures until now. That was just something, it really creeped me the fuck out, just how human like it was and how unnaturally tall it was. I was like, I never would have fucking thought of that. I know you said the resurrection thing was an abomination. This is a real fucking abomination though. Like it's fucking smile, the way it walks towards her and like you could see it smiling.
But it looks cooler
It's
than the
like-
resurrection thing.
It does. It
does.
looks way cooler. Yeah. Enough of that. I can't get enough of the fucking Offspring. I fucking love the Offspring.
The face hugger scene, so cool. I really like that shit with like all the fucking face huggers like fucking
that
coming
was
back
so
to
cool.
life
Yeah,
and in
that
the
was good.
water. Oh, it's such a great moment of suspense. Yeah, but as well as that, the characters, I didn't like half of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
mean
didn't love
that
him.
really annoying British dude was getting on my nerves. Obviously,
Fuck him.
Can't
Oh
stand
my
it.
god.
there's something in the fucking water.
Dude, I hate British. This movie made me hate British accents even more. No offense to any British people. No offense.
I've celebrated the Queen's death on this podcast. You can say whatever you want about Brits.
That's true, right? That's true. It annoys me in particular when it's like teenage boy Brits, you know, because then it's like their attitude and the way they talk combined with the accent make them insufferable. Yeah. And so like that's why I hated their characters.
Was meant to be insufferable, I guess. It's like that added thing. It's like, oh, you're actually just really annoying though.
We're always stuck on like a sort of isolated planet or like a spaceship. We never see how like the world operates, and so like early on, like that scene in The Office and just how like what the world is like.
I loved
that
all
really
that
caught
stuff.
me off guard. I didn't mind it. It's just interesting though. Like finally, like 7 movies in, and we're finally seeing sort of like the world that.
How did we feel about Andy's jokes?
They were pretty
cheesy.
funny.
They were pretty funny.
I thought that was a cute little thing.
I didn't really care much, but
I in general really love the character of Andy, and you're both going to want to kill me. I prefer him to David.
Yeah. He's a cool character. I just wish he didn't do that line.
Yeah, that's the only thing that detracts from him. But also, David was in Alien Covenant, so
oh my god,
he has a leg above him there, I'm afraid. But but I do really enjoy the switch in his character, and honestly, I kind of felt emotion when he was saying that, like, oh yeah, his protocol was the company after like his chip was changed. I was like, oh man, come on, that's not the Andy I love. Come on. And I did really like his relationship with Keely Spaney's character.
Yeah, it was sweet.
So those two, and I liked Kay, the woman who gives birth. Those are the 3 characters I liked. Even like when the fucking chest burster comes out of like the bald woman, like her scream was fucking amazing. Like, I gotta give props to that scream. That was a great scream.
It literally sounded like a stock scream, though. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was good. It was like, but it literally sounded like the most pure blood-curdling scream. I'm like, is that really her scream? That's kind of crazy.
It was a great little moment of suspense. And like, she was trying to contact like the other crew, but they were like busy with the fucking face huggers, like trying to sneak past the face huggers. Like, there's just so much really fucking cool stuff in this movie, and it's such a shame that it has to have that fucking Ian Holm fucking abomination, which is worse than the fucking Offspring. It's worse than the fucking Newborn. Get it out of my Alien movie, for fuck's sake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it should never have been in there. You don't need that.
Alien should just become like a standalone kind of franchise. Yeah. I think that's the way to go about it. Just explore different facets. If you want to go in the Prometheus direction, please do. Make it better. If you want to go in an Alien direction, hell yeah, let's do another fucking Xenomorph movie. I think both aspects would be good.
They just need to pick a side.
There is an Alien TV show coming out next year from the guy who did Fargo, I think.
That sounds weird.
Yeah, I don't know how they do an Alien show, but like fucking, we'll see how it pans out, I suppose.
It's a random thought I had the whole time, but like for some reason I just kept imagining, like, I don't know if you guys, I mean, Keelan, I don't know if both of you played Dead Space, but I just was getting like kind of Dead Space vibes to where I was like, you know what, this guy could direct a Dead Space movie, like he should. Like,
no, you're dead right. It does feel like it feels like a mix between Dead Space and Alien Isolation.
Even with the fucking Offspring, the Offspring almost reminded me of like a taller version of like one of those fucking splicers or whatever they are, you know.
Splicer is actually BioShock.
Oh, you're right. Fuck.
So I think they're necromorphs.
I'm getting my isolated survival horror games mixed up. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, I guess final thoughts, ratings. I've already said my piece. I'll give it a 7 out of 10, a light 7.
I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. It would probably be an 8 out of 10 without Ian Holm, but yeah, what can you do?
5 out of 10 for me. Yeah, but I think that just takes away a lot more for me. Really, I hate it.
Completely understand that.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
It's such a fucking shitty fucking thing to put in.
Yeah,
it is.
But I can still acknowledge it has a lot of great qualities.
Rankings?
At number 7, because there's 7 of these movies. As much as I just talked about how I love The Offspring, man, I have to put Alien Romulus at 7.
Ooh,
really?
My number 7 is Resurrection. To no one's surprise.
My number 7 is Alien Covenant. Hate it. Piece of shit.
I am with Alien Resurrection at number 6. Yeah, it's fun, but it's weird and not great.
6, Alien⁵. It's awful.
My number 6 is Prometheus. It's alright. It's decent.
Jesus Christ.
Number 5, I've got Alien⁵.
I've got Alien Romulus at number 5.
My number 5 is also Alien⁵.
I've got Aliens at number 4.
Whoa, fuck off.
I know.
Crazy.
I know.
Alien Covenant, number 4.
My number 4 is Alien Romulus.
My number 3 is Prometheus.
Number 3, Aliens.
My number 3 is Alien Resurrection.
What the fuck?
I really like that movie.
I know I
What can I
forgot
say?
that you still had that card
Oh
up
my
your
God.
sleeve. Oh my god. All right. Anyway, I shouldn't even be laughing because you're gonna fucking hate me for this. Number two, the second best Alien movie in my opinion is Alien Covenant.
Even I wouldn't agree. But
I know.
No, but like I do love it. I do love it. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong.
No, I know. My ranking changed so much on these rewatches. It did.
My number 2 is Prometheus.
Yeah.
All together, boys.
All together. Number 1,
2,
2,
3.
3.
Alien.
Yes, the
Gold.
only right. Thank God. After all
Only
that.
right answer.
Listener questions from Juliet. moving_triple_pictures. Everyone pitched their craziest idea for Alien⁵ plot and casting choices too. If anyone says Timothée Chalamet, I'm gonna choke myself.
Right, so we're following on from the resurrection ending, but like the theatrical ending where the world is okay. Ripley and Ron Perlman, they get married, and they're living together with Cole. And so David comes back up, and Ripley's alone, and she turns around, and it's David, and he's like, Ripley, I'm here to talk to you about the Prometheus initiative.
What the fuck is this?
And then Cole comes in and kills David because she's a better android. And then they both kiss, and then also Kaylee Spaney's there. She doesn't age. I know, like, fucking, Romulus is, like, years before Resurrection, but, she doesn't age. It's grand. But then a chest burster comes out of Kaylee. And then a new Alien movie starts. And then we'd have... who would we have in it? So we'd have Sigourney Weaver, we'd have Kaylee Spaney, we'd have Winona Ryder, Michael Fassbender, Ron Perlman. Who do we throw in the mix? Josh Hartnett. Let's get Josh Hartnett in there. Let's get the Hartnett Renaissance fucking fully going. Let's get him back there. I'm thinking maybe De Niro, Pacino. Maybe they would prize their roles from Heat. If Gunnar Hansen was alive, I'd say him as well. I think it'd be interesting to see Leatherface face off with the Xenomorph. But, what can you do?
I'm just imagining De Niro like holding a gun up to the scene.
It's both Pacino and De Niro. They're like, oh yeah, this could be good for bank heists. Pacino is also in on like De Niro's bank heists now. The ending of Heat isn't canon. They're just doing bank heists with the Xenomorph.
Shut up. When is this gonna end?
No, I'm just gonna co-sign on to fucking Keelan's pick. I can't do any
we'll
better
both just
than that.
co-direct.
All right, so reviews asked, why do people love Romulus but hate Resurrection when they're the same movies? I don't know if I'd say they're the same movies, but the ending is similar.
Pretty much the same. I'd say because they're stupid. Resurrection haters are among the lowest IQ of the population. So
damn. Okay, I was it.
Resurrection, I feel like, is just way more over the top with it.
It is. It is way more over the top.
It is.
Yeah, Romulus didn't have basketball, so
it's a lot more in your face. I feel like Resurrection is probably hard for some people to get into, but Romulus is more accessible.
without a doubt, it takes itself more seriously for sure.
Yeah.
From movies that don't suck, what should they do next? A sequel to Covenant or a sequel to Romulus?
Covenant.
Yep, I agree. Covenant.
Doi.
They should do what I was saying during the Romulus discussion and just let loads of directors just direct their own Alien movie.
That's
If
true.
they want to do a Prometheus movie, go for it. Why not?
You don't want Ridley Scott back, Keelan? You don't
Fuck
want
him. Get him far away from this fucking stupid franchise.
Films Around the World asked, what was your main problem with AVP2 Requiem?
Oh my god.
I've heard it's like genuinely like just hard to see anything.
I mean, I think I've seen it, but that's what I've heard. I don't remember anything about it.
Do you think when you post listener questions, people were expecting us to talk about AVP as well?
Probably. I couldn't fit in all the movies
Yeah.
that we actually did. I just said Alien franchise. I guess I just assumed nobody would ask about these shitty movies. Thanks for the question regardless. And then last but not least from Film Forager, because I wanted to save this one for last, bring it full circle. No, I want to hear Keelan talk about shirtless Josh Hartnett.
Yes, this is my time to shine. So like fucking yeah, so obviously hot as fuck. Yeah, he looks good for his fucking age, and especially shirtless. What a beautiful man. But like that whole scene at the end of at the end of Trap, I thought it was brilliant, and I thought it was a great idea for him to be shirtless. Not just for, the eye candy of it, but I thought it was great, like, in a thematic point of view, and showing where the butcher was at this point in the story. No, big fan of shirtless Josh Hartnett in Trap.
It was something to see.
Need more
on the
of it,
big
really.
screen for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should have been shirtless the whole movie.
That was listener questions. That was the Alien episode. Yeah, so before we move on, next topic, next episode.
That would be me. Bit of a big one. Not
Oh, fuck
too
off.
big. Not too big. I wanted to take us back to music, doing constant music ones lately, but I did break it up with the wedding movies, so whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just going to come right out and say it, I guess. They've got 14 albums. We're going to do Korn.
What
Korn!
the fuck?
Fucking Korn!
Yeah. I really think, like, they start out really, really strong. Like, there's a bit of a fucking weird period in the middle somewhere, honestly. I've listened to all their albums before, but, like, the last two that they've released, like, quite recently have been really fucking good, so...
I like Korn. I was definitely not expecting that. I'm happy, though. Yeah, taking it back to new metal.
We've done...
back to new metal.
we've done System of a Down, Limp Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit? Dude, we're doing the big four.
This fucking podcast is going to fuck up my Spotify Wrapped. I'm actively trying to keep Limp Bizkit out of my top 5 for this year. I've just been listening to some artists that are like up there and just like, okay, they have to get past Bizkit. I cannot have Bizkit in my fucking Spotify Wrapped.
And now you're gonna have Korn.
And up to today, let's see. Limp Bizkit are number 6. So
Oh no.
I just have to not listen to any more Limp Bizkit and listen to more of other people.
I need to listen to more of their stuff, so that's perfect. All right. Anyway, that's about it. So yeah, you can find me at Views by Quinn on all the social medias. Just find the link tree.
You can find me at Liam and Hyde on some stuff. I'm still on Letterboxd. There's a link tree in the bio. Find all my shit.
And you can find me on Only Shallow on most things, including Letterboxd, and Serialized, and Music Board, even though Music Board's been really fucking shitty recently. Do get away from her, you bitches.
Get away from her, you bitches!